1994. Before studying homeopathy, he did his research and investigations into alternate modalities of treatment, including acupuncture. He was responsible, it was his leadership that led to the creation of the Homeopathic Association of New York State, and he was its vice president. He is one of the very few certified homeopaths who has dedicated a considerable part of his practice to treating children with autism. Do you want to say a few words to introduce him?
I guess I have the honor of preceding Pierre here. I'm the mother, in addition to being the Staten Island branch person, I'm the mother of an 11-year-old who was diagnosed with autism. He was considered to be classically autistic, with autistic syndrome, and he was 4. He was essentially nonverbal. He had 5 words of spontaneous speech. He said no. He said which I knew meant bathroom, but nobody else really understood that. He said bye. He was very withdrawn, didn't make eye contact. Very difficult to gather whether he was really paying much attention to what was going on in the world. He made a lot of improvements through diet. In fact, had kind of a dramatic awakening with gluten-free, casein-free diet, began talking, but he was still very obviously autistic, and was in a program for autism in New Jersey where we live. And at the point when he was 9 years old, he started to have severe emotional upsets, shall we say. It's severe tantruming, to the point that he was waking up screaming every morning, tantruming every day after school. It would take 45 minutes minimum to calm him down in the morning to be able to get him on the bus. And it was just an ordeal to even get him off the bus into the house without his falling apart, and then he'd be kicking and screaming in his room for at least 45 minutes after he got home. I couldn't take him to a supermarket. I couldn't take him most anywhere. And all of the kids who were in his class at that point, even those who had been doing fairly well with biomedical intervention, their parents were starting to give them medication because they were starting to have these type of very aggressive emotional outbursts. My fiance at that time, who's now my husband, I was remarried, was seriously concerned, and he had been a special ed teacher and is now a master, was seriously concerned that he was going to end up being arrested or institutionalized, because when he would have these upsets when he was outside, he would literally start running down the street, hitting everybody who he saw in sight. And generally, if there was a child, it could be, a 2-year-old, whatever. It was a very dangerous situation. And he was getting so big that I could not always keep up with him. And I was very hesitant to put him on medications. So when I went to Pierre and looked at homeopathy, I had read about homeopathy when I was a Psych 4, and I had actually gone to someone who was a certified classical homeopath, but saw no results out of it at all. So this was kind of my last resort. I had thought I really had tried most everything, and if this didn't work, I really was going to have to do something that would sedate him in some way. So I went to Pierre, and I was hoping for the best, but kind of prepared for a similar experience to what I had seen before. So when Pierre gave me the remedy and said, give him a call in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks later I saw absolutely nothing. I actually had said to my fiance, well, I've been fooled again. But Pierre said, well, give him another dose of the remedy. So I did, and you need to understand, this is a kid who was waking up every day screaming and kicking the walls. you know, I would come in his room and explosion. I gave him the remedy that night. The next morning, I went to wake him up. He sat up in bed, he smiled, he said hello, good morning, and it was like a switch went off in his brain or something. I don't know how to explain it, and I think I told you here, it was like suddenly he became a happy child. It was like his whole mood shifted, and from there it was just absolutely incredible. That was during the Christmas vacation 2 years ago. By April, I went for the meeting with his teachers, and the speech therapist said to me, you know, I keep data on how many times we have to prompt him in a half-an-hour session to get his attention. And we were prompting him at least 30 times in the half an hour. And we're down to no prompting at all, and he's totally focused. And he improved so much. You know, at that April, I was getting married in June. I was planning to move to Staten Island. I was looking at autism programs, and he improved so much by July, I decided, you know, he really doesn't fit in an autism program anymore. And I started looking at other types of programmings for learning disability. But by September, he improved so much, I decided, you know, it doesn't make sense for him. I think I should have him retested. So I had him retested, and they said, well, you know, he's supposed to be going into 4th grade, but he's at 3.8 on the testing. So, you know, you should just put him in the regular grade level, because they had been planning first to put him in either, because he had been in the autism program, and even though it was supposed to be a grade level, it really was missing a lot. And they were looking at putting him either in the 3rd grade or learning disabled class. But at that point, they said, well, let's put him in a 4th grade class in the public school. And it's just been amazing what's happened. And I still don't quite understand it all, although I was so impressed with homeopathy that I really have spent a lot of time studying it and trying to figure out how this works, because people ask me to explain, and initially I said, I can't. it just worked. But I'm sure Pierre will do a better job at explaining than I can. But my son is doing so amazingly well, and it's just still, to me, an incredible thing that happened. So, there you go.
Mary? Okay. I dedicate about 50% of my practice to autism. And this happened really by accident, although I tend to go towards what is most difficult in life. My very first patient was a young girl who had Rett syndrome and was not able to do much about her or for her, but instantaneously stopped her seizures. And this girl really got me started on this whole journey of dedicating 50% to my practice. It is a very real possibility to reverse autism now. It's not, maybe not in every case, but in most cases we can achieve quite a lot. So I don't use the word breakthrough lightly. What you are going to hear tonight is really 15 years of practice, of working, of quite major involvement with homeopathy.